Hello and welcome all of you to T10 by Bangalore IAS Academy. In today's video, I'm going to discuss one concept from modern India which has been asked 5 times in the last 15 years. Just one concept, one particular act to be specific, which has been repeatedly coming one after the other. You see, the topic is Montagu-Chelmsford Reforms or Government of India Act 1990. Both are the same. This question is directly from it. You can see another question, Government of India Act 1990, the Montagu-Chelmsford Reforms in 2016. Again in 2017 it was asked. Again in 2021. So learn this one concept, that too not very deep. Understand the basics of this concept in the next 10 minutes. And you are going to cover one of the hotspot areas in modern India. So let's see. What exactly is this Montagu-Chelmsford Reforms? So first thing to understand, the country of Britain doesn't have a written constitution. When you think of India, we have a written constitution. Britain doesn't have a written constitution. So that country is governed on the basis of acts like these, one after the other. Parliament passes an act, then the regulations happen based on this. So India was also being ruled like this until 1950 when Indian constitution got established. Every time they'll come up with an act and then the entire governance will go behind that. So in 1919, a similar act came. So that is the relevance of it. It's not just a random act that they're coming with. It is equal to the constitution at that time. Government of India 1919. Then why is it called Montagu-Chelmsford Reforms? Because Montagu was the Secretary of State, who was the person who was controlling India's affairs sitting in Britain. And Chelmsford was the Viceroy of India. So these are the two most powerful people when it comes to Indian administration at that time. And this particular act was orchestrated by both of them. That is why it has the same name, Montagu-Chelmsford Reforms. Now, UPSC always asks about the nature of this act and some of the very specific points from it. I'm going to explain it one by one. You don't have to muddle your head with too much things. Just remember the next 4 or 5 points I'm going to tell you. First point. What is the background of this act? You cannot study history in isolation. There are some events that are happening around this act. First event. This act is coming in the context of World War I. So you have to see the time period of World War I, which is from 1914 to 1919. This act comes in the last year of World War I. First context. Second context. This act is coming after Gandhi has come to India and when he is fresh in his travels. Gandhi came back to India in 1950. Until then he was in South Africa. So he came after 4 years of his arrival. This act is coming. This act is also coming after Rowlatt Act has been passed. Rowlatt Act is a very draconian act passed by the British, which means you can be arrested without a warrant and you can be convicted without a trial. Against this only the famous Jallianwala Bagh protest and the massacre happened. So this act is coming after that. That context is also important. One more thing to remember. In 1917 August, in the British Parliament, this Montagu made a declaration. That declaration had the outline of this particular act. That declaration is known as the August Declaration. So this act was in the making for so long and it came in 1990. So this declaration can also be kept in mind. So this is the background, the first point to remember, these 3-4 events. Second, let's see what is inside this act, the major provisions in this act. In 1919, with this act, for the first time, bicameral legislature was given to India. What is a bicameral legislature? 2 houses. Right now, India is a bicameral legislature. We have Lok Sabha, we have Rajya Sabha. This concept was introduced for the first time in this act. That's the first point to remember. Second, once bicameral legislature was established, they created something called central list and provincial list. This is something we are familiar with because it is there in present day India. Right now, we have union list, we have state list, we have concurrent list, correct? This is how India's administration is being done. But this idea was introduced for the first time in this act. They introduced something called central list and provincial list. So first bicameral legislature, second central list, provincial list. 2 points. Now the third one. Dyarchy. This is one word you should never forget. At the moment Government of India Act 1990 comes to your mind, Dyarchy should come to your mind. This was a very brilliant plan introduced by the British to keep India in control, but at the same time they wanted to make Indians feel that you are being given some power. So what is Dyarchy? Listen very carefully. Dyarchy means they created 2 lists at the provincial level. One list is called transferred list. The second list is called reserved list. Don't confuse it with the central and provincial list I told. That is different. This is transferred and reserved. And these 2 lists are applicable only in the provinces. What is a province? A province simply means a state, okay? Just like modern day state, they call it province. So in every province, you will have a transferred list and a reserved list. In this reserved list, all the sensitive subjects are kept. What is a sensitive subject? Finance, police. And in the transferred list, all the non-sensitive subjects, for example, public health, irrigation, education, not sensitive subjects. These transferred lists can be handled by the Indian representative in the provincial assemblies. This reserved list will be handled, or it is exclusively reserved for the governor at the provincial level. This is the brilliance I talk. So they have kept all the sensitive subjects with their governor, and for the sake of it, they have given some portfolios to the Indian representatives. This is Dyarchy. Please remember, Dyarchy in 1919 Act was introduced only in the provinces, which means states. In 1935, they will abolish it from the provinces and they will keep it in the center. That's a different story, it comes later. But in 1919, introduced, kept it in the province. That's for sure. 3 points are out. Last point. For the first time in the history of India, women were given the right to vote for their representatives. This also happened in the Government of India Act 1990. UPSC have asked about this specific point. So direct voting was introduced, and in which women were also given the right to vote. So just remember these 4 points, understand the context of this act, and you have covered a very, very important topic from modern India. See you with the next topic from a different subject.